Hi everyone. So for today's lesson, we are going to be looking at negative exponents. So in the last video, we looked at quotient rule. So just as a reminder, with quotient rule, we are subtracting exponents. For example, if I had m to the power of 7 over m to the power of 5, I'm going to take the 7 and I'm going to subtract 5 from it, leaving me with m to the power of 2. But what happens if the bigger number is at the bottom to begin with? For example, what if it was m to the power of 5 at the top and m to the power of 7 at the bottom? Well, we're going to start this the same way we would with quotient rule. So we're going to subtract m to the power of 5 minus 7, except now I get m to the power of negative 2. The negative exponents rule tells us that we want all of our final answers to be positive. We don't want any negative exponents. So I'm going to write that. We don't want negatives. Now, that's not a negative coefficient, but it's the exponent we want to be always positive. So how can we turn this to a positive exponent? Very simple rule. We're going to take it, because remember, every number is always over 1, and you're going to switch it. You're going to take this m to the negative 2, and you're going to write it on the bottom, n to the power of 2. It becomes positive. So it's just like we're switching spots. And now the 1 is going to be at the top. So this goes to the bottom, this moves to the top. Let's practice. If I had m to the power of negative 3, to make that positive, I'm going to do 1 over m positive 3. If I had m negative 4, to make it positive, I'm going to bring it to the bottom, and 1 over m negative 4. Now, I'm going to put a little divider here. If you have two variables, for example, if you have x to the power of 5, and then y to the power of negative 3, only y raised to the power of negative 3 will go down. The x to the power of 5 is already positive, so it does not need to move. X to the power of 5 is going to stay at the top. Y to the power of 3 will go to the bottom and become positive. But what if it's already negative at the bottom? What if we have this, for example? X to the power of 5, and in the bottom, it's y negative 3. What do you think you're going to do? We're actually going to move this guy up to become positive. So you get, just like the x to the positive 5, it's already positive, so it's staying at the top. Now, we're going to bring y to the positive 3 up. So if it's negative at the top, bring it down to be positive. And if it's negative at the bottom to begin with, bring it up. So here's our rule, condensed. If I'm going to change color to, let's do some, let's do pink for Valentine's Day. So the rule is as follows. X raised to the power of a negative exponent becomes 1 over x to the power of that same exponent, but positive. Or if it's already negative at the bottom to begin with, then we're going to bring it up to make it positive. And that's it. Let's look at a problem where we kind of have to use all of our other rules that we learned. For example, let's look at if I have, oops, this is a little too, let's look at this one. If I have 3, x negative 7, and then 5, so times 5, x to the power of 4. So with this one, we are going to practice our product rule. With the 3 and the 5, we're going to multiply it the same way we've always multiplied regular coefficients. It's going to be 15. And then we're going to take our exponents. So the -7 and the 4 becomes x -7 plus 4, which is going to become 15x -3. So to make our final answer perfect, we're going to take this x to the -3. The 15 can stay at the top, but this x to the -3, we're going to move to the bottom and make it positive. Just like this. Now, what happens if our coefficient is negative? Let's take a look. So if I had -2, x -8 times 4x2, same idea, multiply your coefficients, that becomes a -8, x to the -8 plus 2 gives me -8 x -6. Now, a negative coefficient doesn't matter. We don't do anything differently. We treat it the same way we've always treated negative numbers. Normal. The only exception to this rule is now when we're learning about negative exponents. That is different, and that guy is going to move to the bottom to become -8 at the top, x +6 at the bottom. And that's it for today's video.